How's it going, guys? SheezyCats here. Square Enix has officially dropped the news that the Bravely collab is going to be the special event from the August roadmap. I'm sure a lot of you guys are super excited about the collab, and in this video I'm going to be going over all of the basic details you need to know about the collab in advance. But before I begin, I want to give a couple quick disclaimers. First of all, as usual, I'm going to be going off the way the collab was presented in the Japanese version, so it's definitely subject to change in the English version. Second, I want to make it very clear that all three of the collabs that were in JP were all completely different in pretty much every way. This includes the way you get the free character, how the event banners are set up, and how the event story itself is played. Please do not try to extrapolate how future collabs will be based on what goes on in the Bravely collab. Now then, let's jump right in, starting with the characters. I won't be doing full-on character overviews here, obviously, going to be saving those videos for later, but let's take a quick look at each of those characters so you know what you guys will have to look forward to. First up, we have Elvis from Bravely Default 2, who is a lightning scholar in COTC, donning his black mage outfit. He's the free unit for the Bravely collab and will be available for every player to get, even players who started COTC after the collab period has already ended. The way the collab is set up is very neat. The entirety of the event story is told through Elvis's traveler stories, which means you have access to the entire event story even after the collab period has ended as well. All you have to do to get Elvis is beat Master of Glory Chapter 1, and then talk to Elvis in Theatropolis and he'll join your party. In COTC, Elvis is a bit of a weaker unit, understandable since he's given to you for free. He has some pretty strong lightning nukes, but is a bit lacking in the multi-hit department. Despite this, he's still a pretty useful unit to add to your team if you need some more lightning coverage. However, the thing that's very special about Elvis is that he's a unit that starts out as a 3-star unit, and you gradually raise him up to a 5-star by gathering event-specific sacred seals. These seals can be collected by completing specific feats, as well as by purchasing them in the event exchange. I'm going to get this out of the way right now. Do not expect to 5-star Elvis immediately. It took most players a day or two to 4-star him, and another month or two to 5-star. Next, let's take a look at the units that will have event banners. In JP, there were 3 characters in the gacha, but they were on completely separate banners from one another. Each banner lasted 2 weeks, with the banner releases being staggered 1 week apart. To compensate for all 3 characters having their own banner, the number of rolls required to spark them was reduced to 100 apiece, which translates to 3,000 rubies. Additionally, each banner had a step-up that could be purchased with free rubies. There was no discount, so the full 5 steps still costed a full 1,500 rubies, but step 5 was a 50% chance of pulling the banner unit, and the step up could be repeated multiple times. First up is Adele from Bravely Default 2. In COTC, she's a thief, with her claim to fame being her powerful nuking ability After Image, a 260 dagger nuke that is a guaranteed crit when max boosted, on top of her passive that gives her 30% damage up on her crits. On the elemental side, she has access to light magic, which is a common trend you're going to be noticing throughout all of the Bravely characters. Halfway through Adele's banner, we got introduced to Idea from the original Bravely Default. Idea might be a warrior in COTC, but she has the makings of a merchant, with access to an AoE taunt that increases her own defenses, similar to Devon or Gilderoy. While she's technically a fire elemental character, she also has a light skill in her kit, Heaven's Gate, which is actually one of her most notable skills. It starts as just a 2-hit random target light, but with every boost point you apply, the number of hits increases by 1, eventually becoming an insanely powerful 5-hit random target light when max boosted. The final collab character's banner started at the same time Adele's ended, and it brings Agnes from the original Bravely Default. Agnes is a wind and light cleric, and she's a textbook example of a jack-of-all-trades, master-of-none character. With access to burst healing, AoE regen, team buffing, enemy debuffing, and 3 different attack types, she's a unit suited to many different situations. However, even with all these options, they're not without their limitations. Certain skills require being max boosted in order to apply to the full team, otherwise only applying to a single unit, which promotes strategic use of your BP. And while she does have multi-hits, they cap out at only 2 hits per cast. She's also notable for being the first unit introduced into the game that has a revive skill, letting you bring back an incapacitated ally up to 3 times per battle. Next, let's talk about the Bravely Hunts. That's right, even more hunts. You guys just got expert hunts like a week ago, and now even more hunts are on the horizon. Bravely hunts use a 3rd type of hunt ticket, which are blue. This means that you can get another 5 guide stones on your characters every day. It is worth noting that these Bravely hunts do not give the plus 10 flat guide stone bonus to new units, so those are only applied to the normal and expert hunts. These hunts are a bit different from the normal ones in a few other ways as well. The dungeons will contain enemies found throughout the Bravely Collab story, including some crossover enemies from the Bravely series, such as Chompers. By the way, Chompers are the Bravely equivalent of Kates, so these enemies can drop lots of EXP when defeated. Another difference from normal hunts is that you will get event-specific materials called Otherworld Heroites as rewards for beating the hunt, as opposed to accessories and sacred seals that you're normally used to. These materials can be taken to the exchange and traded in for certain items such as the seals needed to class up Elvis. Speaking of the exchange, apart from those class up seals for Elvis, there is one more notable item that I'm sure you're all very excited about, and that's the Bravely fan. For those of you who have watched my Lynette guide, I'm sure you know all about this weapon since it's a staple on Lynette once it comes out. While its stats are pretty low, it extends all buffs applied by the wielder by 1 turn, including Lynette's swapping passive buff, making it extremely powerful on her. In the Bravely exchange, you'll find a fan item where the icon looks like a broken fan. This item can be taken to Kota's shop and forged into the Bravely fan using materials from the Bravely Collab dungeon. There are 7 other weapons for the 7 other classes as well, but they're significantly weaker and not worth mentioning compared to the fan in my opinion. Alright, that wraps up everything I wanted to talk about in today's video. I obviously haven't gone over everything that's going to show up in the collab, as there are some secrets that you guys are definitely going to want to see for yourself, especially if you've played Bravely Default. There are a few really awesome fan service moments throughout this collab, and I really hope you guys will enjoy it. Also, as one last note, remember, everything besides the collab gachas is permanent. This includes the ability to get Elvis, play the event story, and access the Bravely hunts, so if you're watching this in the future, don't feel bad if you started late. Also, JP Octopath COTC has shown that they are willing to rerun collaboration events, as Bravely did get a rerun, so even if you miss it the first time, there's still a chance that it comes back in the future. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to send those down in the comment section below. And until next time, this has been Chizukats. See ya!